Guys, Rewind Mike here with another pickup video. I've been really busy this week, so I haven't really been able to like put together a proper pickup video because I've got, I want to say like 27 games over like 5 different systems. So honestly, I don't even know where to really begin with this. So I'm just gonna kind of jump into the video and we're gonna see where it goes. A couple of Nintendo 64 games I got because there's no way for me to really show game footage to capture the 64 games because when I try to capture them off my actual 64, it doesn't look good at all or anything. So sorry about this first part. That's why I'm going to start with it because it's going to be the less entertaining part. I got F-Zero X. It's not in the box or anything, and you know, the game has some stickers on it. So I got Pilotwings 64. I've never played this, so I really don't know what to say about it. Is Paperboy on the 64, which again I've never seen it before, so I think it was marked at like $4 and I picked it up. Just another game to add to my collection, really, and I've never, like I said, I've never played it, so maybe it's a good game, maybe it's not, who knows. And then actually I have one more game here. I can't actually show you footage of me playing this game, but I can show you like stock footage of somebody else playing it on YouTube. It's Syndicate for the PS3, got it for a couple of dollars there, as you can see. That's really the only reason I bought it. Syndicate is a fantastic co-op game. Alright, so the next batch of games that I'm going to jump in here is going to be for the NES. Now, I've never really played this game before, even though it is a Capcom title. I've never really had much interest in it, and I couldn't tell you why, especially since the name is pretty decent. It's Gunsmoke on the NES. Now I got both copies of it because I guess there's like 2 different covers to the game. I had no idea. I played it for a little bit, and I was definitely having a good time with it, and I'm definitely going to dive into it again. I can't remember right now if it was a 2-player game or not, but I hope so, because I would really like to go against some of my friends and see what their high scores are in this game. And the next game I got here is Adventures of Lolo 2. Now, this is a pretty interesting game, honestly. I've never played the Adventures of Lolo series before, so when I you know, turned it on to record the gameplay footage for it, it starts up and it's really fucking creepy. It's like this thing is like hiding in the corner and it's like about to get kidnapped, and then, you know, you have to go like save your circle friend, I guess, and it's just like a puzzle game, and you have to clear certain floors, you know, moving certain objects. You know, you can only do a certain amount of moves so many times, so if you don't do it, you gotta start the floor over. I'm definitely gonna be seeking Adventures of Lolo 1 and 3 though, because that's a pretty solid title. I was definitely having a really good time with it. Now the next game I got here is something that I've actually hated for a very long time. I love the series as a whole, but for some reason the first Metroid, I've just never been able to get into it. It's like really friggin' hard. That's what really makes it hard, and there's no map for navigation. And now I'm pretty sure there's one in the instruction manual, but I don't have it, so it's the only Metroid title that I haven't completed. Lies. This and Metroid 2, The Return of Samus, or whatever it is on the Game Boy. I've never beaten either one of those games. Alright, and the next game I got here is made by Sunsoft. Again, it's an NES title. It's Journey to Silius. This game is fantastic. It's kind of like a side-scrolling, you know, action platforming game. You know, you have a gun and stuff like that, so it's really cool. But the thing that makes it stand apart from a lot of the other games like it on the NES is you can actually lay down and like kill the enemies on the floor. You don't have to like dodge or avoid them or anything like that. And to me personally, that's a really nice touch. Now the final title that I got for the NES. I've been waiting to add this to my collection for like fucking ever, man, and it's always been at a really high price, and I've never really wanted to pay eBay prices plus shipping for it. I put up a post on, you know, a local Facebook group, and I asked a couple of, you know, kids if they had it, basically, you know. The one kid that picked up a lot was like, hey dude, you know, I found it, you know, I'll give it to you for a really good price. I went to go meet him, and, you know, a lot of people are gonna knock this because it's got the little LJN rainbow on it. It's a Nightmare on Elm Street. Sorry I didn't show you guys. Game's fantastic. It's a really good platform beat 'em up. It follows the story of all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, basically, because you can get like different powers and stuff like that in the game, and it's really fucking kind of unique, honestly. To beat the game, you have to go into all the houses on Elm Street, but it's not in any... My phone went off. Apparently somebody in Castlevania died. So you have to go along the street, and basically you have to clear all the houses and stuff like that. It's in a particular order, and it's never really the same, so that's what people don't like about it. But, I mean, if that's what makes it a bad game, I mean, just figure it out. It's not that hard, really. Jeez. Alright, so that was the last of the NES titles. Now we're going to move on to the Sega Master System. I just picked up Bonanza Brothers. It's a pretty good game. I've never played it before. I've heard about it, but I believe it was on like the Sega Genesis that I heard about it. I didn't know there was a Master System version of it. Basically, you play as two brothers who are like hired by like the state to like rob mafia banks and take the money back from them. Again, it's a side-scrolling game, but there's multiple levels. Like, it's not just like a side-scrolling. It's like a 2D, 3D kind of game. But you're going through, you know, you gotta rob banks and you gotta try to escape the bank before you get captured by the security guards that are hired by the bank, obviously. And the next game I got here is not made by LJN, but it is a Spider-Man game for the Sega Master System. It's probably the best Spider-Man game I've ever played. And this one is actually Spider-Man vs. the Kingpin, even though it doesn't say it anywhere on the box. It just says Spider-Man. I don't know, you have to go through each stage, and each stage has like a certain objective. Most of the time, you just have to kill all the enemies on the stage and then fight the boss and move on. But the hard thing about the game is you have to do it all in one life, and I believe you only have about a half an hour to beat the game. And if you don't, the Kingpin does something, I guess like a bomb goes off or something like that, and you basically fail the game and you gotta start over. So next I'm going to talk about the Game Boy games that I got. Went to the flea market, or not the flea market, sorry. Went to the Goodwill the other day while I was doing my laundry because it's like 2 seconds away from, you know, the laundromat. I actually don't have anything there, honestly, because somebody must come through and clear the fucking place out. I'm not lying. I found these because they had them in like a little box in like a glass display case, and I just kind of saw them peering out, and I was like, can I see that box, you know? So they handed it to me, and in there I found Mega Man 1 on the Game Boy. It's Mega Man 1. It carries over that same exact difficulty that Mega Man 1 has as well, because it's a very tough game, I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't even really get to the fucking Robot Master at all. I believe I tried Cutsman stage first, because it's Cutsman. I couldn't get very far in the game, but I'm really glad to add this to my collection, because I used to have Mega Man 1, 2, and 3 on the Game Boy back in the day, and they just... those games kind of just grew legs and disappeared. And the next game I got here for the Game Boy, same exact story. Went to the Goodwill, saw it, got it for $5, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, it's going to be another Mega Man game. Mega Man Extreme, which is basically a port of Mega Man X. This carries over like a whole different story and like a whole different like cast of characters and stuff like that. It's not really Mega Man X. Some of the bosses are different, and you know, the power-ups that you receive are different at certain times and shit like that, but it doesn't make it a bad game. But it is fucking hard as hell because you can't do the slide. The only way to do the slide is hit like down and jump at the same time, but you can't jump out of it because you don't carry over the same momentum that you had from the slide, so like you can't use it to like jump around. But the cool thing is you can switch the slide to like the select button, but that doesn't make it any easier, but you can do some slide jumping and stuff like that, so it is possible to do. Alright, here's the final run. Super Nintendo. I think I have like fucking 10 games here, and pretty much every single title is amazing except for about 3 of them, so we're just gonna jump right into this. First game that I have is Beavis and Butthead. Fucking horrible game. I have nothing to say about it. It's really hard. I've never beaten it. I've never gotten really far in it, but for some reason I always find myself playing it. So, I mean, if that says anything, I don't know. It's probably mainly the nostalgic, you know, aspect of just Beavis and Butthead and growing up at the time when, you know, they were like, yeah, no, you can't watch Beavis and Butthead, it's not meant for kids. The next game I got here is a port of a game from the NES, which was a port from the Macintosh, I believe. Probably PC also, but it's Prince of Persia. Fucking hard as hell, never beaten it. I don't even think I've ever gotten out of the like dungeon that you start out in, honestly, so. Alright, the next game I have here is Demolition Man. I've never played it on the Super Nintendo. I've always had it on the Sega Genesis because that's the first system that I actually got to play it on because my friend let me borrow it. And it's a lot of fun, honestly. It's a 2D side-scrolling, you know, shooting game, obviously. Most of the games that I play are like that. But the unique thing about it is there's actually like this top-down shooting stages that are actually a lot of fucking fun. Kind of like Grand Theft Auto, honestly, the way that it plays and the way that it feels. For me, it was a lot easier to do those sections, though, on the Genesis. It's a lot harder to play on the Super Nintendo for some reason, and I really couldn't tell you why. The next game I got here, I really didn't think I was gonna like. I didn't think I was gonna care for it, but once I started going through it, I was having a lot of fun. It's Stunt Racer FX. This game is a lot of fun, honestly. I thought it was just gonna be like a throwaway cart, let me buy it, you know, it's a couple of dollars, whatever. But, you know, I went through a couple of races, and honestly, Stunt Racer FX, I totally suggest buying this if you find it. The next monotonous game that I have picked up is Alien vs Predator. Now this game, it's a lot of fun, but it's really hard because like when you hit the enemies, they don't always like just, you know, take the hits. Sometimes they fall back, so you have to like wait a second for them to stand up and come back on screen and stuff like that. So it gets very, very fucking tedious. And honestly, Alien vs Predator, I love the idea. I cannot suggest buying the game for the Super Nintendo. Now the next game I got is probably one of my favorite No, it is one of my favorite Super Nintendo games. As a matter of fact, I covered it in my top 10 SNES games. I also did a glitch video for this as well to beat the game in about 3 minutes, so you guys can check that out because it's all, you know, on my channel somewhere floating around. Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. Now this is my copy. And this is my original copy. It's in horrible shape. As you can see, there's duct tape on it. There's fucking glue in the corners. The original owner was the actor John Goodman, apparently, so, you know, that's cool. But it's just really nasty. The clips are missing on the top and stuff like that. And this is in no way an attractive cart. I had to pick up another copy. This one is in pretty minty condition. The sticker's in nice shape. There's nothing wrong with it. The clips are there. I definitely suggest playing it if nobody has it. It's a lot better than Zelda 1. It expands on the whole idea of the game. It adds a lot of direction too. The first Legend of Zelda was very confusing, man, and I could never get that far. I was able to get further in the second Legend of Zelda than the first one. But then again, I never had Nintendo Power. I never had that instruction booklet. I never had the maps or anything like that, so it was hard for me to find, like, where the items were hidden. Alright, now we're rounding up the video. I only have about 4 games left, and we're gonna run right through these. We're not, actually. Sorry, I lied. I picked up Secret of Mana. This game is fucking fantastic. You can play as, like, 4 different people throughout this game, but the cool thing about it is you can actually play with a bunch of friends, too. So it's one of the first action RPGs that you can actually have friends join in on. I was playing the game with my friend the other day for, like, 4 or 5 hours, and we just couldn't put it down. It was so much fun. If you've ever played like Beyond Oasis or anything like that, it kind of plays the same. It's a RPG, but it's not an RPG. Sometimes you get lost on the overmap and stuff like that again because it's very big. So there's a lot to this game, but it's not a bad thing. It's not. And now here we go. The next game that I picked up is Illusion of Gaia. Just like Secret of Mana, it's an action platforming or action RPG game. Sorry. Now this one you can't play with a bunch of friends or anything like that, and the story in it is really fucking something cool though. And same thing with Secret of Mana. The story for that is really intriguing and it's kind of pulling me in. So I'm looking forward to beating both of those games really soon. Another game that I picked up is Zombies Ate My Neighbors. Fantastic multiplayer game, one of the best multiplayer games out there for the Super Nintendo. It's so much fun. You can help your friend, you can rob your friend, you can fuck your friend over and just trap him in the corner or something like that in this game. It's so fucking hard. You have to kill zombies, you have to kill, like, you know, Jason looking creatures running around with chainsaws and stuff like that, and Zombies Ate My Neighbor is just like over the top slapstick humor, and it's absolutely worth every penny to pick that up. And the final game for my pickup video. Fantastic game. Again, it was in my top 10 SNES games. I don't know what happened to my copy of this though, because I couldn't see myself selling this game. Contra fucking 3. It's so much fun, and it adds a lot to the whole Contra series, honestly. There's a lot of bosses. There's climbing on the walls. You can climb on like overhead pipes and stuff like that. Enemies coming from everywhere. You can store up to 2 different weapons in the game, so like if you die you can always switch over to another weapon. You don't have to just keep worrying about dying and running through the game with a machine gun. But another cool thing is if you hold down the L and R button, they turn out the guns like this and they do like a little jump and they shoot both guns at the same time, and it's just crazy over the top badness, honestly. I've never been able to get past like the second top down stage because by that time I'm already out of continuous of lives. I did figure out one trick on one of the stages I was having a lot of trouble with, so I'm going to be making it a lot further than that really fucking soon. Anyway, that was my pickup video. You know, I hope you guys really enjoyed it. I definitely got a lot of fucking really good games, and you can't deny that. Altogether, I want to say though, I probably paid like $250 for all of it. Honestly, it's a lot. I don't normally do that, but there were a bunch of games that I needed and a bunch of them that I wanted. So, you know, sometimes you just gotta bend to your will and kind of go against what it is that you like to do. So, you know, I bit the bullet and I got the games that I wanted, and you know what? I don't regret it. I'm very fucking happy with the choice, honestly, because I would have never played Secret of Mana or Illusion of Gaia unless I actually own them, because even though I do play my games on the emulator and ROM, I can't get into them unless I actually own it. Don't ask me why. I can't tell you. It's just a thing. Anyway, I'm Rewind Mike. Thanks for watching, guys.